Easy because there are some barriers that will...
Hello and welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be taking you guys with me as I run the RunThrough Foundation 10k. First things first, I need to fuel up for the race. I like to keep it light for a 10k, so I'm just having a toasted roll with some jam, a few dates, and then I've had a coffee and some electrolyte tablets to wake me up and get me going. I then made my way to the London Olympic Park with my wife and son to get ready to start the race. There was a bit of a group warm-up being put on by the event organisers, so I thought I'd join in with that. I also got Sonny involved. He loved it, however he did fall asleep pretty much straight away after. After warming up, I got myself down to the starting pens, where I slotted myself in nicely in front of a 40-minute pacer. It was a guy called Wally who was bringing loads of energy on the day. I kind of wish I ran with him, but I was going a little bit quicker than the 40 minutes and wanted to stay in front of him. Been training quite hard to bring my 5 and 10k times down, so this is really a tester to see how that training's been going and to see whether or not I'm in PB shape. Okay, and here we go over the start line. I'm pumped up, I'm ready, but I really want to try and keep it easy in these first few kilometers. I've got two goals in mind. One is to go sub 39 minutes, the other is to go sub 38 minutes. Bit of a big difference, but I'm going to see how I feel. Plan is to run no quicker than 3:48 per kilometre for at least the first 2 kilometres, and then after that I'll assess, see if I need to drop back a little bit or see if I can keep that pace up for the rest of the run. Hopefully I'll end up somewhere in the middle of that, but both those times should give me a PB. My plan was to film the whole race today and then put it all up and just condense it down, speed up some of the more boring sections, but my camera actually could only record for about 28 minutes and there's no way I'm running it that quick, so I decided to film the first and last kilometre and then give you updates on each kilometre as I go. Straight out the gate, and I am screaming to myself in my mind not to go out too quickly. It is kind of working. I'm sticking around the sort of pace that I want to be, and my average pace on my watch is showing to be correct. One thing I didn't know about this course, however, is that it's quite undulating, which you'll see. There's a lot of quick uphills and then quick downhills. Not too big of a problem, but makes it hard for me to pace a little bit. So I'm going to take it really easy, just make sure that I don't go out too quickly and burn all my matches in the first 10 minutes. My choice of running shoes today were the Alphafly 3s, which I've run my last few races in. I've actually picked up a few more pairs of race day shoes since I got the Alphaflys. One is the Puma Fast R2s, which I've tested out. Not sure I get on with them too well, so stuck to my Alphafly 3s because they're a safe bet. The other shoes I've picked up only arrived on Friday, so a bit too soon to be taking them out for a race, but they are the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2s, which I'm really curious and really excited to test. I had the first iteration of these shoes and I really did love them, so I'm hoping I'm going to like these as well. Okay, so kilometer 1 is coming in at 3:47, 1 second quicker than I wanted to be. I told myself no quicker than 3:48, but that's close enough and I'm happy with that. I'm going to try and keep it consistent for at least the next kilometer, and then I'll assess how I feel at that point. The Pitsy runner overtaking me on the right here is my teammate James. He is generally a lot quicker than me in the 5 and 10k races. I'm going to try and see if I can sort of stick with him a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy, but if I can try and pick him off later in the race, I'm going to try and do that. I've been doing a fair few 5Ks recently, being park runs, track runs, and also some local events for the team. However, in those races I've been going a little bit too quick in the first couple of kilometres, so I really wanted to be disciplined in this race, tone it back and see if that helps me to negative split. Okay, kilometer 2 is another 3:47, which is pretty much perfect how I wanted it to go. I wanted to stick around the same sort of pace. I am starting to feel like maybe this pace is a little bit unsustainable, so I'm going to maybe dial it back for the next kilometer, just a touch, and then see how I feel. As long as I don't fall below 3:54 pace, I'll be pretty happy here. I mentioned it before briefly, but this is a pretty undulating course, especially in the first half. It's nothing too major, but those hills are really starting to kick me in the legs, especially when I'm trying to keep up a fast pace. This race was put on by RunThrough, and it was actually a free race. You can put in for the ballot and they draw it out, and whoever gets in gets a free place, which I thought was amazing. It's all done for a charity as well, which is great, and they even gave us free photos and free video, as you can see here up on the screen now. Kilometer 3 has come in at 3:55, which I'm actually quite happy about. It's a little bit slower than I was hoping for, but it was quite hilly in this kilometer, so really happy with how that went. Moving on to kilometer 4, and we've come in at a 3:58, which is a fair bit slower than what I was hoping for. I've still got some time banked from those first 2 kilometers, but I really need to keep a consistent pace from here. I'm going to try and finish the first 5k in a nice average pace of about 19:30, and then I'll try and keep up a really consistent pace in the second half, and hopefully we can still hit our goal of getting a sub 39. Kilometer 5, we're halfway through, but it has come in at another 3:58, which again is slower than I was hoping for. However, I have noticed that my watch is slightly behind on the distance, so I'm telling myself in my mind that I'm actually going a little bit quicker than that, and the time I made up in the first 2 kilometers should make this good for me. The first 5k has come in at 19:25, which is above the pace that I was hoping for, so just got to keep strong in the next 5k. Kilometre 6, and we've hit a 3:59, even slower than the last 2 kilometres, which is not what I wanted to see. My legs don't feel like they're giving up, and I don't feel like I'm at my maximum, but I feel like if I push now, I'm going to hurt myself and then not be able to finish strong. So just going to keep ticking over, and then hopefully I'll be able to pick up a few more quick kilometres as we move forward, get that goal pace. Halfway through kilometre 6, and right in front of me, about 50 metres ahead, I can see my friend James, who I mentioned at the start. I'm going to try and get in front of him. I really want to try and beat him, and it's going to give me a bit of friendly competition to really give a push in this last couple of kilometres.
Come on, everybody, enjoy yourselves. God, you look brilliant this morning. Go on.
Kilometre number 7, and wow, the guy in the green in front of me is cruising past. He's really pushing some pace in this last few kilometres. I really need to start following him because I've come in at 3:56, which is below the goal pace. Really need to start pushing if I want to make the time. My camera just missed it because of a delay when starting the recording, but just managed to get in front of James. He's really hot on my tail, trying to keep up, and I'm hoping that he doesn't manage to push and get back in front of me. Coming to the end of the 8th kilometre, and we've ended up in a running track. It's really cool to run around this midway through the race. It was just one lap and then back out and back the way we came, moving towards the finish, but it was quite cool to see. Okay, we've managed to pick the pace up a little bit now. Kilometre 8 has come in at 3:53. Need to pick up the pace a little bit more to make some time back on those last few kilometres, but we're going to really push it now. We've got this last kilometre before the final 1K sprint. Kilometre 9, and it's come in at 4:02. It's a little bit slower than the rest of them, and I think this is where my watch has finally caught up, and it's now synced up with where I am actually in the race. So it's added a few seconds to this kilometre to even things out, but I now know where I am. I need to push, have a really quick kilometre for this 10th one, and hopefully I'll be able to get in just under the pace that I wanted. I mentioned at the start that this race is a bit of a benchmark for me. I'm using it to sort of gauge where I'm at, how I feel running at different paces, and see what my realistic pace should be for my upcoming half marathon. It's only a few weeks away now, and then after that I'll be going into training mode for Manchester Marathon, where I'm hoping to break that sub-3 barrier. I feel like I'm a lot quicker than I was before. I feel like everything's moving in the right direction, so hopefully in the new year Manchester will be the one where I break sub-3. I'm making my way around the stadium now, getting towards the finish, really trying to put my foot down. You can see my heart rate's jumped up, the pace has gone down. I'm hoping for a quick finish so I can just squeeze under the 39-minute mark. Now I thought I'd picked up the pace in this last kilometre, but oh my god, this guy is moving ahead of me. He managed to pick off a few people in the last final sprint, and he really put a good effort in. I'm curious to see how quickly he was actually going in this last bit, but yeah, good on you. And there we go, we've come over the line with our 10th kilometre being a 3:44, managed to make it the quickest kilometre of the race, bring that pace right down, and I just managed to fit in with a 38:59, literally 1 second below the pace that I wanted. Super happy with that, really pleased with how that went. I've really been putting a lot of effort in with my training to try and get quicker at these shorter distances, and it really does seem to be working. I've managed to knock 45 seconds off my previous PB that I set a year ago, which for the 10k and for me is quite a lot. I'm hoping that I'll be able to feel more comfortable and consistent at these faster paces, and then when I go for a marathon effort, the 4:15 mark pace that I need for a sub-3 is going to feel really good. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Please do like and subscribe if you want to see more content. And until next time, thanks for watching.